Welcome to the Stanford Lee Show. This week, my run-in with the Illuminati. It's interesting how people, kind of cling to superstition and power. I don't think that ever changes. And it was kind of an interesting time where when I was younger and my family got an opportunity to work in Northern California. So I'm really young, and this is before the internet. And I mean the internet as we know it today, but stuff is not like that accessible. Like in Southern California, you have different things going on with music and culture, and Northern California is something totally different. And as a youngster, it was kind of like, I would put it this way, it's like Southern California was great for the kids, and Northern California is more for the grown-ups, sipping wine and vineyards and stuff like that. It's unfortunate I had a family that didn't really appreciate wine and leisure and that kind of lifestyle, because we were in paradise. I mean, it was kind of a weird working arrangement. My father getting a job in Northern California and is going to run this big thing. We even have like some amenities and perks. We get the house in front of the graveyard. Really smart investment, right? This guy considered himself kind of a tycoon in the area, so much so that he really was kind of connected to things, or he overheard those stories. And I think these stories were not really made popular yet by, I don't know, movies and books and the internet as much, but I did hear them, and it was like, where I heard him was on this plane ride. This, I don't know, the person about town, as we will say, he took us up on a Cessna, and we're hearing these big stories about, this rich person lives there, this rich person lives over there, and, oh, I'm gonna take you to a really special area, and we're flying around Northern California, and he's like, hey, have you ever heard of Bohemian Grove? Yeah, well, it's a place where all these rich people get together, and they have like all these rituals and a big owl, and he was specifically telling a story. I thought of it the other day because I watched this British show called Mandy, where she got an extra job. She's always looking for work, and she was laid out on the table, and so she was the sushi girl. Like she's covered in fish, and that's what made me think of this story. And that was kind of what he was describing, how they would have these parties, and there'd be people lying around kind of like in the buffet table or whatever. So really decadent. And then it was kind of like the guy with the Cessna kind of being a jerk and having a little fun, like, oh, let's do some dive bombs. We did a few dive bombs. We flew over the house, looked at this big swimming pool, and then returned. I don't know what happened with that deal, but somehow we just kind of, the family just lingered around Northern California for about a year, and then we went somewhere else. But that was kind of my run-in with the Illuminati, and I was kind of underwhelmed. I didn't realize that was an interesting story until I heard that word bohemian again years later, and it was kind of like, okay. But you know what? He was like one of these people that was always trying to impress. And I think that's what happens in Northern California, because there's a lot of people that have money, an extreme amount of money, and then there's those people trying to live up to that standard. As a kid, I really didn't care about that. But man, if I could grift some music by kind of like going through other people's record collections. I remember some of these rich kids that weren't so mainstream. It was the only way I could hear some of these bands like TSOL and the X and Romeo Void and a lot of vintage stuff like in that time. It was, you know, kind of inspiring to, you know, have music passed around and have to find the cool kid on the block in order to hear it, or you have to save your allowance money up to buy it at a store, you know? So it's not like downloading was really prevalent then. That's my experience. I did bring on a special guest to kind of, you know, do something interesting because, I don't know, he's sending demos all the time. It's just like he's the guy that kind of captures the era, whatever era he's from. We don't really know. He just sends me junk and, I take it seriously, but kind of wastes my time. What are we talking about?
No, I know what you're saying, but yeah, these people don't know what they're getting into, and it's just like I think they're attracted to the power, and you know me, I'm just about love and living and letting live, and you know, it's just really sick. But I mean, it's kind of pathetic too. I mean, I've met those kind of people. You know, in the business, it's like, yeah. Totally met those kind of people. So I will leave with a couple parting thoughts to wrap up this story. Envy is dangerous. You know, don't even go there. And another thing is don't be too impressed by stories that people tell because it's mostly BS. And I think that's the right vibe. You know, just live and love. It's all cool. I know what you're saying. I mean, it's there's some creepy people out there. I mean, you know, like in the business, it's like you meet a lot of these. They're clinger-ons. It's like they want to get on the, you know, coattails of somebody that has that.
Yeah, so
but they don't have that themselves.
I really, so I'm gonna end the show.
I don't know, man. It doesn't really teach anything. You know, it's ridiculous.
Anyway, that's Sheik Fez told me he worked hard on this song, and he's gonna perform "Bring It On." So let's give him a hand.
Suburban gangster, living the life of a prankster. Like a suburban gangster, living the life of a prankster.
Well, I had a great time, and special thanks to my guest, Sheik Fez. And I will see you next time on the Stanford Lee Show.
Like a suburban gangster.